Hello everyone, welcome to the channel once again. I'm continuing with the SharePoint online series, and in this video we will comprehensively know about list. Now SharePoint list is one of the most important features in SharePoint. It is so important that Microsoft has launched it as a separate product under Microsoft 365. So if you learn SharePoint list, you will also know the list which is coming as a separate product in Microsoft 365. In this video, we'll learn how we can create list, how we can manage the permissions of the list, how we can manage versionings, and we'll see the advanced setting of it, and then we will see how we can customize the forms, and then we will see how we can put the validations and index. So it would be a most comprehensive video on the SharePoint list, so it could go a little longer, so please bear with me. So let's get started. So this is my SharePoint site and this is the separate list. So this is my SharePoint site, and from here you can click on new and you can create a list, or you have a separate list as a product, you can see, and from here also you can click on this and you will get this pop-up. The same pop-up you will also get when you click on new and this list, because you are creating the same list. Now SharePoint list can be created as a blank list, or you can create a list from the Excel itself. So all the columns which are there in the Excel will be populated in the SharePoint list, and sync also you can do. It also provides some out-of-the-box templates which you can use to create SharePoint lists, like issue trackers, employee onboarding, event itinerary, asset manager, etc. So where do you find this? If you are on the SharePoint site, you can create a list from here, new list, or from the list you can go here, and if you want to see all the products you can search lists and you will find this as a separate product. So both you can use. Now I'll go to the SharePoint site and create a new list. I'll go with a blank list, so I'll name it demo1, and you can put the description if you want, and if you want this demo1 to appear on the left navigation, you can take it, otherwise you can untick it. I'll keep like this and create. So you can see it is appearing in the left navigation bar. Now by default it gives us title column. You can add as many column as you want. So if I want, suppose, a name column, I can use that single line of text, and I can write it as name. I can give descriptions, type, if I want single line or multiple line. Obviously I want single line, default, and more options. What is the character? By default it's 255 characters, and require this column contain information. So if you want it to be mandatory, you can put it mandatory. Yes, it would be a mandatory column. And if you want to enforce unique across this table, so you can click, it would be unique. And column validations I'll cover when I'll cover the settings. So this, and then in this way you can create. So the list is created and you have added a new column as a name. Now I'll go to the list setting and we'll cover this whole settings one by one. You can see some of the settings will not appear if you are using the template, like save list as template. This will not appear in your list setting if you have not enabled it. So how you can enable this list settings, I'll show you. So let's cover one by one. So first you go to list name and description navigation. So if you want to change the name of the list, you can change it from here. Suppose I want to change it to demo2, I can change it from here. And display the list on the quick link. Yes, it's currently displayed, so I can save. And now you see the demo2 is there and demo2. So the name, description, and navigation you can change it from here. Now if you go to the versioning setting, you will have require content approval for submitted items. So if you want a content approval, you can click yes. If you don't want, you can keep it like this. Create a version each time. So how many major version and how many minor versions you want, you can put it. Create a version each time you edit. Yes. Keep the following number of versions. So currently it's 50. You can put it as 20 if you want. And you can, if you don't want versioning, you can click no. So I'll show you how you can require content approvals for submitted item. So how this works, I'll show you. So if you yes, keep the draft version of the following. So how many draft versions you want? Suppose I want to. And then if somebody has submitted it and it is not approved till now, till the time it is in draft stage, who can see that item? So if you click on this, any user who has read item permission, so any user who has read permissions will be able to see that draft item, or only user who can edit item. So all those users who have edit rights on that list, they will be able to see it, or only users who can approve item and the author of the item. So generally only users who can approve this will see the draft item or the creator of the list item. So this I'll click and I'll click OK. You must enter a number between 1 and 500. Okay, so it's 25 now. Okay, now the versioning we have all covered, so I'll show you also. So suppose I go and click new and I write something and save. Now you can see the approval status is pending, and if I go and log in with a different user, this item will not be visible. So I'll show you. Now currently I am logged in as test1. I log in with different user. Now you can see here I am logged in as test user 2, and now this test user 2 has access on that site and on that list. Now if I go and check site contents and then to that list which was demo list demo 2, now you can see its item is not visible. However, you can see this item is there. It's a pending stage, but this user is able to see test 1, but this test 2 user is not able to see because it's in the draft stage, and I have put only the creator and the approver will be able to see if it is in draft stage. Now I'll approve it. So approve, reject. I'll approve, and now once it is approved, it would be visible to the other users also. So I can see if I refresh this, you see it is now visible to the test 2 also. So in this way you can control the approve item in the SharePoint list. Now I go to the setting again. Now versioning we have covered. We will go to the advanced settings. Now allow management of content type. If you want any content type to be added on that list, you can click yes, and then you can add that content type. So what is a content type? Content type is actually a reusable component which you create in a SharePoint so that you can reuse it multiple times. Suppose you have address field, you can use address field multiple times. So what you do, you create a content type as address, and you put the street name and a building name, floor number, all this, and you create a content type, and then you add that content type to a particular list where you want to use it. So all those columns will be added. So in this way you use the content type. So I'll skip it for here. Now item level permission. If you want to put the item level permission meaning row level permission. Now the explanation is also self-explanatory. Specify which item users are allowed. Read all items, read items that were created by users, create and edit all items, create items and edit items that were created by users. Now if you want item level permissions in your list, you can use this. Like suppose read items that were created by users. So if you want that only users who have created, only those items are visible to the users which the user himself or herself has created, no other item. So you can click it and you can see it. So I'll show you. So once I click it OK, and I'll go to the demo, as he has created, it is visible to him, test user 1. But once I go to test user 2, here and if I refresh this, it is not visible because I have not created. Now we can go to the next list setting. So going to the next setting, in the advanced setting, this we have seen. Now attachment. So if you want attachment to be enabled or disabled, so you can see it here. If you go currently, you see if you go and click one item, you see this attachment. Now if you don't want this attachment, you can disable it. So I'll duplicate it and it would be easier to show you. Now you can go to the list setting, advanced setting, and if I disable and OK, now if you go and click new, I'll refresh, and now if you go and click OK, you see the attachment has gone. The attachment section has gone. So in this way you can control that attachment part. Now going to the advanced setting, make new folders. So if you can allow making folders to the list. Now currently if you go and see on new, nothing is, only this item is coming. If you want to allow users to create folders in the list, you can click it from here. So you can click yes, and then you can click OK. Now if I refresh the page, you will see two items. You see the folder item. So user will be able to create the folders also. So in this way he will be able to create. You can give the name and then you can create the folder. So if you want users to create, you can allow from here. So I'll create no. I'll enable the attachment. Now allow items from this list to appear in the search. If you want that search crawler crawl the items, then you will click yes, and once this search crawler crawls, the list items will appear in the search. If you don't want this list items to appear on the search, you can click no, and then this list item will not be crawled and hence it will not be shown on the search result. So you can use this. Index non-default value. So specify whether non-default views of this list should be indexed. Allow non-default views from this list to appear in the search result. Now if you want, you can create views of list. There is one default view and there are other views that you create. Now if you want the other views to appear on the search, you can click yes, and if you want only the default view to appear on the search, you can click no. So this is what it's saying. Reindexing, click reindex list button to reindex all the contents in the document library during the next crawl. Actually this is more related to the document library, so it is not of much use here. But if you have like folders and if you have enabled attachment in the list, and then you can click reindex, it will be reindexed. Offline client availability, specify whether the list should be available to the offline client. So if you want it to be available offline, you can click yes, otherwise there is no. Quick property editing. So if you want to allow quick editing, you can click yes and no. Now currently it's yes, so that's why you can see the edit in grid view, quick edit is there. So you can edit like this, and if you don't want to allow quick edit, you can click no and then OK. And then if you go and see, if you reload this page, you can see the quick edit is gone. So in this way you can control that as well. So advanced settings, dialog. Actually this, you see, all these are dialog box. So if you have any custom dialog box, if you want to enable it, you can enable it from here. So it's self-explanatory. If dialogs are available, specify whether to launch a new edit and display mode in a dialog. Selecting no will cause this action to navigate to full page. So if you select no, that will appear in full page. So this is self-explanatory. Now automatic index management. Allow automatic index management, yes, and if you know. So what does it say? It says that automatic index management allows SharePoint to maintain column indices on the list to provide the best query performance within views. Automatically created indexes may be recreated if you delete them. Changing the setting will not affect the. So basically if you index it, obviously indexing make the searching faster, but you have to take into consideration that indexing make CRUD operations slower, insert update. So based on that, you can, if you are mostly fetching the data and searching, so you can allow, otherwise you can disallow. You can click no. List experience. Now display this list using new or classic experience. So default is there. What is the site? If your site is in classic mode, the list would appear in classic. If your site is in new experience, the list would also appear in new experience if you have default. Now if you put that list in classic experience, even if your site is in new experience, this will appear in a classic experience. So from here you can control that as well. So that's all about advanced setting. We'll go to the next setting. Now after advanced setting, there is validation settings. Now validation settings are, you can put validations on the column. So how you put validations, I'll show you. Now suppose I create one column, I can create columns from here also. So I'll create one column, suppose salary, and I want to be number, and no minimum maximum. Here also I can put some validation that it should be minimum and maximum. I'll keep it like that and I'll click OK. Now I'll go to the validation settings, and now I want this salary to be always greater than 500. So whoever is submitting, the salary should be greater than 500. So I can write the message that salary should be greater than 500. If somebody is going to create a list item, he should enter more than 500 in the salary. If he does not enter, he will not be able to enter it. Suppose so I write something, name I write, and salary, if I write 40 and I click save, you can see the error, salary should be greater than 500. So this would appear, but if you write 600, it will save. So in this way you can put validations also. So this is the validation. Now going to the site list settings, and in validations we have covered, this is the message. Now going to the advanced targeting settings. Now enable audience targeting. So if you enable this audience targeting, there would be a column, a new column would be created. I'll show you so that it would be more clear. So I go to the list settings, and you can see currently these many columns are there. Title modified by created, name, salary. These are the columns which are there in this list. Now if I enable audience targeting, a new column would be created for the targeting the audience. Basically it is used in content query web part, so that if you want like only these list items should be visible to only that particular person, so you can filter based on this audience targeting. So if I enable it, okay, and you see a new column would be created. So if I refresh this, you can see the target audience column is created. You can use this target audience to limit those list items visible. So this is what the audience targeting. Now rating settings. Now if you want that rating to be enabled, this also create one column, the rating column. Currently you see there is these are the columns, there is no rating column. So if you go and click yes, and you want a star or likes, so if you want a star or like, based on that you can click, and if you click OK, it will create new columns. So you go and you see these columns are created: rating, number of ratings, number of likes. So these are created. Now if you go and create one item, and you see here the rating column is there. So here user can like also. So this is created from there, rating. So this rating form is basically used for editing. So if you want to customize this form, you can customize the form in Power Apps. I'll show you later. Then you can delete the list from here. If you click, it will ask if you want to show delete it. You can delete from here. So I do not want to delete. Now save list as template. If you want to save this, suppose if you want to move this list from dev environment to production environment or UAT environment or some other environment, so you save this list as a template and then you add the list from there. But in SharePoint Online, this does not appear by default. You have to enable this scripting. You have to do two things. First thing, now you can go to settings, and from here you have to enable this. So this custom scripting you have to allow. So first thing you need to do, you need to allow. By default this is preventing, so this would be there. So you have to allow and click OK. And the second item you need to do, you need to run this command. What is the command? Connect ISPU URL. So you will connect your tenant, and then you need to activate it. So set SPU site, and then the URL of your site, and then this command deny add and customize page, and you have to set the property 0. So once you set the property, you will be activated. Make sure that you give the URL of the site. Earlier I gave this slash also, after that then it was not picking, so then I give the URL of the site. So this is my URL, correct, test1sp, site test1sp. so this you need to give, and then you can add one parameter, deny, add, and customize pages, and then 0. So two things you will do. First, you will go to the site setting and you will allow this custom script, and then you will run this command. After this would appear. So from here you can save list as template. You can give the name of the template, suppose, and then something like this. You can so you can give the name, and if you want to include the contents, you can click here and then description, and then okay. Now once it is saved, you can go to the list library, and from here you can download, and then you can upload to the tenant where you want to move, and then you can add the list. So this way you can use the site list templates. Going back to the list settings, permissions for this list. Now you can manage permissions. Currently it's inheriting this list is inheriting permissions from the site. If you don't want, you can stop inheriting permissions. Now if you want to remove the access of any of the group, you can just click on the, suppose I want to remove the members, I can click on this and I can remove users permission. So it will remove. Now the site has all these three. If you go to the site settings, you click here list settings, and then you go to site settings, site permissions, advanced permission settings, and now you see the three groups are there. So test1sp members have access to the site, but they does not have access to this list. So this list will not be visible to those members who are there in this SP test members. If you want to check the permissions, you can obviously check the permissions in the list, and if you want to remove the unique permissions, you can anytime delete the unique permission. So it will start inheriting the permissions from its site. So how the hierarchy in SharePoint is: first the site collection is there, and then the root site or sub site, and then there will be list, and then there will be library. So all generally permissions inherit. Now if you want to break permission at any level, site level or list level, you need to break the permissions like this, and then you can manage. So you need to stop inheriting permissions, and then you can remove those users, those groups or users which you don't want. Going to the list settings again. So permissions we have covered. Workflow settings. So these are workflow settings, not much use. So if you want to associate any workflow, so you can actually not much of use, because generally in online we do it through Power Automate. So enterprise manage keyword setting, this also add. Now if you go and see list settings site, so if I go and see the list settings, these many columns are there. Now if I go and add an enterprise keyword, this will also add one column which would be a unique column through which you can search the item. So you see an enterprise keyword column allow users to enter one or more text value that will be shared with other users and applications to allow for use of search and filtering. So actually you can click OK. Actually it creates only one more column. That would be easier. Then that would be easier. You see enterprise keyword column, it's MMD, manage metadata keyword. So that is the tags you can create, and then it will help in searching that item. So we have covered all the list settings. Now I'll go and create one view. Now you see from the versioning setting, when I created this content approval, then you see this list, this view was created, approve reject view. So similarly you can create your own views also. So I'll show you how you can create your own views. So you can go to the list setting and then you can create view. So you click on here and then which view you want, standard view, Gantt view, calendar view. I'll click on standard view and then I'll type in demo view. And then if you want to make it default, you can make it default or you personal or public. I'll keep it personal. Now how many columns you want to show in this view? Now currently if you go and see, these many columns are visible in the view, but you don't want users to show all the columns. So you can remove it from here. Suppose I want to show name, approval status, salary and rating. These many columns only I wanted to show, and the sequence would be, this would be my first, this would be my second, and sequence also you can change. So if I click OK, you can see this is my view, only these 3 columns are visible, no other columns are visible in this sequence. Now if you want to change the sequence, salary you want to make it first, you can do it that as well. How you can do it? So you can again go to the list settings and this view, demo view that you have created, you can make this salary as 1. So this 2, 3 automatically it got created, and once you click OK, you can see only these 3 columns are visible and the salary is the first column. So in this way you can manage that as well. Going to the list settings and the view again. So there are quite a number of things you can do it from here. So now you can sort it also. Suppose if you want to sort by which of the column, suppose I want to sort it by salary, so you can sort it by salary, and then if you click OK, you see the list is sorted, blank, 600, 700. So in this way you can put sorting in the list item to a view. Then if you want multiple sorting, suppose if you want first sort to the salary and the second sort to some other column, you can do that as well. So these things you can do, column sorting you can do, filtrations also you can do. Suppose you want to filter salary, suppose if you want to show only those items whose salary is equal to or greater than 5,000, and you can put some other conditions, so that filtration will be put also. Or you can put like today, so suppose you want to show only those items which are created today, so you can put created date equal to today, so something like that. You have a column created date, created equal to, now this today you can use, so like this you can use. So only those items which are created today would be visible. So in this way you can put filtrations also. Now going to the tabular view, this is a tabular view. Choose whether individual checkboxes to each row should be provided. Now if you go and see the list, you see these checkboxes are there, so you can check. If you want to check all, you can check all, or individually also you can check. But if you want to remove this, you can remove this from here if you allow and click OK. So you can see that checkbox is gone already. So this way you can tabular view. Now if you allow it, it will appear again. So now you can see it appears again. So in this way you can control that. Now going back to the group by, if you want to group by with any column, suppose if you want to group by created date or any salary or any of the column you want to group by, you can group by from here. You can give the column name, and if you want to group by from other columns also, you can use it. Actually this is more useful, like suppose you have a department field and if you want to show the data based on like grouped by department, so very beautifully it appears group by, and it also displays the count also, how many items are there in that count. So generally department, divisions, you group by them, and then the list item will show the data like that. So this is sometimes very useful for clients. So group by you can use. Now totals, if you want how many columns are there of that particular item. Like suppose you want to calculate how many list items are there who has salary 5,000. So you can use this on the salary, so it will display the count on that field. So this is used for that. Styles you can put how like box or newsletters and these things. So it will change the UI. Currently it's in tabular format, it will change the UI. So this you can use the styles. Folders, if you have folders in your list and if you want that folders to appear and inside you navigate and items appear, then you can click show items inside folder. But if you want the items to be shown as denormalized form in this view, that no folders are visible and all the items are visible, so you can click show all items without folders. So it will show all the items without filters in this view. So basically you are creating this page where these settings you can apply. Item limits you can apply. Currently it's 30. Now item limit means how many items is visible on one page. So you can increase it to 60, 70, 100. So how many, this is basically for paging. So after how many items you want paging. So based on that you can increase and decrease. Mobile compatibility, if you want to show in mobile, this is there. And I think I've covered most thing. Only one thing, form settings, I have not covered. I'll show you that as well. Now you can customize this form in Power Apps. So you can customize this app. Click on customize this app, and then you can use Power App to customize the form. Now customization of the form will not change the context of that new and edit forms. In the SharePoint context only it will open the page. So I'll show you how you can edit it quickly. So if you see currently, this is the item which you see, this is the design. If you want to change any design in this, you can use Power App to designs. Now once it completes, I'll show you how you can design it. I'll skip it. Now you can see this is there. So this is my form screen, this is my form, and this is my attachment, and these are my data cards. Now suppose in the form I want to change the color. So I'll change the color to yellow. Now this is the color. Now to red, suppose. Now this is red. Now I have changed the design and now I want to publish it. How you can do it? Now you can go to file and save it. So you can save it, and then you can publish to SharePoint. So all the changes once you make, currently it's only one version. So all the changes you can publish, and then you can back to SharePoint. If you go, you see the item is there. Now if you click new, you will see, the edit data field is there. So in this way you can customize the form also. I've just shown you how you can do the customization in that list. In the Power App series, obviously I am covering that, so I'll cover that in Power App series. So this way, so I have covered most of the things what you can do in the list. From here you can automate, create rules, and or you can attach a flow to the Power Automate. Suppose for adding or updating an item, you want an email to be sent to somebody, so you can do that through Power Automate. So you can do that Power Apps, and then from here you can create Power App or Power Automate. You can create flows, different flows on that list from here also, or you can create from the Power Automate page also, or here from here also. If you want to export the item, you can export it from here, Excel, CSV. If you want to share this list to somebody, you can obviously share from here also, or you can go to the list setting and permissions and share from there also. And you can see how many members could see. You can put filters also. So from here also filters you can put, or from here also you can put filter, group by, and columns you can do. So I think I've covered most of the things in SharePoint list which need to be known. In the next video I'll cover SharePoint library. So thanks for watching, and please do like, share and subscribe the channel.